Welcome to On the Move.
Members of the jury, please direct your attention to Mr. Randall, who will be giving a second rebuttal closing argument on behalf of the plaintiff, the City of Vancouver. Mr. Mack.
I don't usually take too much time on the rebuttal. You guys have been here for a long time. We know the Second Amendment is not unlimited. The defense counsel articulated that. So it is our right to limit and control guns in the United States. So let's make that clear. Regardless of how you decide today, you're guilty or not guilty, the Second Amendment is not going to fade to black here. Okay? Put it over here. So, I'm just going to go right into the last three things. The manner he carried it in, the circumstances, and the time and place. And he's correct regarding the statutory construction of that. There's all three because of the and. So I'm going to actually work backwards, time and place. I think it's reasonable that that is not the time and place, as we've said all along, to try to educate individuals according to what Mr. Worley's saying his intentions were. Let's talk about the circumstances of everything. We've talked about gun violence lately. The circumstances are not the best time to be doing what he's doing. And the manner. He keeps saying, we never touched the gun. It was always over his shoulder. He couldn't have done anything different. I'm going to just pick the big obvious one right off the tree. Don't put a loaded clip in the gun when you go to a family area and make it visible. That's not something that's this big, it's not inserted, it's sticking out that big. I'm going to ask that you find him guilty of unlawful display of a weapon. Thank you.
Well, members of the jury, now that you've heard the court's instructions as well as the closing arguments of the parties, you're ready to begin your deliberations, and you're free to deliberate in any manner that seems suitable to you as long as it's consistent with the instructions. I have a few suggestions I'm going to make, or guidelines. These aren't in writing because they're merely suggestions, and hopefully they're helpful, but you don't have to follow them if you don't want. Again, the very first thing you'll be doing when you get back to the jury room is selecting a presiding juror. You should give careful consideration of that choice. You should look for someone you feel is a good listener, a good observer, someone who can organize your discussions and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be heard. You select that person any way you want. A person could volunteer, you could nominate somebody. As far as doing a vote, you could do a voice vote, show of hands, secret ballot, however you want to make that decision. One thing I would caution you is that several years ago we had 6 people went in to deliberate on the jury, and when they first got to the room, one person excused himself to use the restroom. When they came out of the restroom, they were notified they'd been elected presiding jurors, so you may want to keep that in mind. And as far as deliberations, again, you can do those any way that you would like. Sometimes they sit and reread the instructions. Other times you think, well, we just heard the instructions, we've got them here, and instead they kind of go around the room and let people mention issues or concerns that they have that they would like to discuss. And that kind of gets people to freely express themselves before anybody takes any sort of position. Again, that's totally up to you. And in your deliberations, respect each other's opinions and different viewpoints that each other brings. Be patient and generous in allowing everyone an opportunity to speak. Listen carefully to each other. Don't rush to a verdict just to save time. And each of you must decide the case for yourself, but you should do so only after you've reviewed the law, carefully considered all the evidence, discussed the issues fully and fairly with your fellow jurors, and listened to their viewpoints. And when you do decide to take a vote, you can do that any way you want, show of hands, voice vote, secret ballot, any way that's going to encourage people to freely express their opinions and conclusions. And again, these remarks are just suggestions. They're not binding on you. Hopefully they're helpful. But again, nothing that I've said in any way suggests what your verdict should be. That's entirely for you to decide. So at this time, we'll have you head back to the jury room with the instructions, and again, we've got the evidence out here in the courtroom. And so for the first time, make sure you take your pads off.
I'm being detained right now, officer.
Let me see your ID.
No, thank you.
What's that?
No, thank you.
No, thank you?
No, thank you.
Okay, why are you saying no, thank you?
I know it's my Fourth Amendment right. I don't have to show you my identification. Okay, so you're not going to answer. Okay. What's your badge number?
1382.
And your name?
Devlin.
Devlin. Yours?
1375.
Name?
Troyer.
You do know that you're required by law to actually give me your name when I
Just
ask.
did.
Really comfortable too. That's one thing I really like about this bag is the comfort level of it. But anyway, so let me move on here and we'll start showing the back here, show the features. First thing first here, we got the front of it.